Welcome to part 2 of our 5-part ranking where we rank all 45 starting characters in the mobile game Disney Mirrorverse. This is a 5-part series consisting of 4 entries featuring 10 characters and a 5th with the top 5 character designs. As I mentioned in the last entry, Disney Mirrorverse is an action role-playing mobile game developed and published by Kabam Games Incorporated. The game includes characters, heroes and villains alike from across Disney and Pixar franchises. These characters are known as Guardians. Each Guardian has been upgraded to fit into the game setting, an alternative universe called Mirrorverse, which is being threatened by several famous villains. The Guardians have each been uniquely designed with their own powers and abilities to help aid them in combat. It's these Guardians we will be ranking in this series. If you would like to download Mirrorverse on the App Store or Google Play, there will be a link in the description. My username, if you would like to join an alliance with me on there, is 66JJ99. Please note we will only be discussing the first 45 Guardians released of the game. Any future additions will be discussed separately. There are currently 4 additional Guardians that have been added since this ranking was decided. They will be discussed in their own entry after this series is finished, in their own ranking, New Guardians entry. This ranking will be based on my personal tastes and opinions, and does not reflect on the work that went into each character by the developers. I do not intend to undermine the hard work that went into these designs and the thoughts behind them. No character is created equally. Some characters in this ranking may have comments which conflict with others. This is not a contradiction, but my personal thoughts are some characters need less added to them than others. These comments will be further explained going forward. You do not have to agree with my ranking. In fact, I encourage you to share your own thoughts. I would love to open a discussion with those who also enjoy the game. I haven't sought out any other rankings to ensure I'm only ranking purely based on my own thoughts. With that out the way, let's get into ranking the characters from 35th to 26th. 35th place, Tinkerbell. It doesn't get much more iconic than Tink, which is why I'm so disappointed with this design. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate it. It just doesn't feel like enough. Having a giant golden Tinkerbell is a cool concept as an ability, but there are so many cool ways you can take her actual design. I would have leaned more into her more modern design. It offers so many more interesting looks to be inspired by. There's nothing wrong with classic Tink, but it would be nice to see her physical self and not just a giant projection. If they wanted to keep her small, why not pair her with Peter Pan? Why not combine the two? There are so many more interesting ways to present her than what we got as an end result. 34th place, Minnie Mouse. When it comes to Minnie Mouse, Iron Man, or more accurately Ironheart, is not the route I would have gone down. Heck, I didn't even think anyone would. My main issue with this design is I just don't get it. I understand her powers, but there must be a better way to present them rather than throwing her in some armour. If it were up to me, I would have bumped her onto the same level as Mickey. Maybe make her a sorceress with the same colour scheme as him. Make them a pair. Even from the rest of the Sensational Six, Minnie sticks out like a sore thumb. Overall, I'm not a fan of this clunky look. 33rd place, Anna. Anna is often overshadowed by her sister Elsa, and unfortunately I feel this design does no help. Is it a bad design? No. But is it a boring one? It is. It doesn't feel like Anna, more like a generic armour. I like the concept of being able to channel elemental magic, but if I hadn't been told that prior to seeing her look, I wouldn't have made the connection. Anna deserves a look that feels like her, not a look that feels like armour just dumped onto her. 32nd place, Ursula. Ursula's design is good. It's pretty cool, but it needs a little refinement in my opinion. I love the giant collar, but the cape and the giant scrolls feel too heavy for me. Ursula is a Cecilia that understands the importance of body language, so it baffles me why she would wear something that doesn't flatter her body. The middle section squishes her in. It feels confining just looking at it. Personally, I would just lose the cape altogether and have the collar attached to her dress/body. I would also lose the giant scrolls. I understand why they're there, but I'm sure there is a better way to utilise them. She is a character that commands a room all by herself. She really doesn't need that much to stand out. 31st place, Elsa. Elsa's look is meh to me. It's not good, it's not the worst, but for Elsa it's certainly not enough. I'm not sure what I expected from her design, but this is far too basic for my tastes, and amongst the other Guardians she doesn't stand out to me, which is a shame because Elsa is one of, if not the most iconic modern character to come from Disney Animation. She deserves something more. 30th place, Tiana. I like Tiana's look. I completely get where her design is coming from. I know who this Guardian is just by looking at her, but it's a similar situation to Elsa. She just doesn't stand out to me. Tiana needs something that really makes her look pop. I'm not sure what that is. Perhaps her Firefly friends could be integrated into her outfit somehow. Overall, it's a good design. I just wish it stood out more. 29th place, Buzz Lightyear. There's not really much to say about Buzz. His design is decent enough. There's not really much you can do to elevate his original design, so I can't fault this design. They did a good job with him. He's just not my favourite design overall. 28th place, Judy Hopps. Judy is sleek, she's clean, she's sharp. Her look truly embodies her personality. I generally can't find any flaws in this design. Each detail is well constructed. There are just other character designs and characters that I like more. 27th place, Baymax. Baymax's design is not my favourite, I'll admit, but I do love the little Easter egg stickers on his design. It's such a cute touch, and I'm a sucker for an Easter egg, so he gets points for that. I think his design may have been more to my taste if it were more red with white highlights, only since his suit represents his armour, which is of course red, but that's literally the only thing I could think of. It was a decent job, just not to my taste, which is fine because they're not made solely for my taste. 26th place, Ian Lightfoot. I can't fault Ian's design. I wouldn't know where the heck to go with his design either. I think it suits him and suits his character, so I can't complain. Again, there are just other designs that stand out more. So there we have it. For part 2 of our ranking, every starting Mirrorverse character. This part was a little bit shorter than the last one, which is good because it means I didn't have as many qualms with the character designs. Going forward, I am naturally going to be more drawn to and impressed by the designs of these Guardians. We are just entering the middle of the road section of our ranking, so stick with us if you want to see who lands on top. As I said last time, if the character designs you see in this entry interest you, feel free to download the game on your device's app store. Our next entry will focus on my ranking from 25th to 16th. Until then, I wish you Boreda, Brynhanda, Noswaifdar, or Nosdar, wherever you are in the world. Bye!